This is the Unit 3 pre-lab, energy and momentum. Question 1, of course, is that you, the student, will attend the lab intensive. This is the Simple Machines Lab objectives. So obviously look at the lab manual. That's the idea of these pre-labs, so that you become familiar with the lab manual as you show up for the lab intensive. And you find these objectives in there about ideal mechanical advantage, simple machines, and so on. Look in the theory part and you will find these here. The definition of a simple machine is that it changes either the direction of an effort force or the magnitude of the effort force, which is usually the case. While a theoretical ideal mechanical advantage reduces the necessary force by a certain factor, the distance over which that force is applied increases by the same factor. So we're not going to get a free lunch. Work is going to be easier, but we still have to do the same amount of work with a simple machine. This one here is the actual mechanical advantage, and you can see A, B, C, D. They line up nicely here. And then the actual is less than the ideal mechanical advantage because that the lever has mass itself and that you have to work against friction. Okay, then these here, notice that these are basically the same ones expressing the same thing, just for the different simple machines, lever, inclined plane, the block and tackle, and the screw. You will do 2 of these in the lab, and then there will also be some videos posted that you're going to watch and answer questions there that will be during the lab. But in any case, all of these 4 here take on the same statement over here. Simple machines, look at the procedures. This should be in the correct order. Which simple machine do we cover in the lab? Block and tackle, inclined plane, as I just mentioned, 2 of them. And in the video, there is a number of others. There's a total of 4 in the video. Research how many, and again, this video that I'm referring to, you will do that particular one during the lab. You probably come already across it when you do the pre-lab, but the actual analysis of that video will be during the lab itself. Research how many simple machines there are. Well, there's a total of 6. Actually depends on where you look. Do you expect to have to do less work with a simple machine? And it turns out that ideally the work should be the same, but you're not going to do less work. You might even do more work, for example, because of friction. And you can read through the others yourself. And again, look at the procedures for that lab. The simple machines, as always, I also included an example. And when you look at that example, you will find these here. The other 2 here, they might be correct statements, they're just not listed there. Then the other lab is the ballistic pendulum and projectile motion. Again, look at the objectives. These are the ones. Apply conservation laws for momentum of energy, for example. In the theory part of the same lab, you will find these here. Manual work is being done by cocking the launcher, pumping the nerve gun, stretching a crossbar, and so on. That work is stored as elastic energy or as compressed air energy. And then these here should be in the correct order. You look at the procedures. Ballistic pendulum, how should you measure the distance or the height that the pendulum swings? And then read through the statement here yourself. Ballistic pendulum, if necessary, length is measured between which 2 points, from the pivot to the middle of the cup. If you're in Alaska, you will be using 982 because 982 centimeters per second squared, because your measurements are made in centimeters. Typical mistake is to use 9.8 meters per second squared, but then you have to convert one or the other, meters to centimeters, the other way around. And again, you can read through the other statements yourself. Again, this should be in the correct order. The example for that particular lab, you will find these two here. Again, the other three statements here may be correct, but they're not included in the lab manual itself. Again, the pre-lab quizzes you on that you actually looked at the lab manual. This one here, you would have to access the PHET Physics Education Technology applet. It's posted, and you can go in here and then answer these questions. And again, they also should be in the correct order. And that's what I got for the pre-lab 3 for energy and momentum.